Hey, this is JC and welcome to Small Brick City. In this video, we'll explore creating Lego connections with clips and bars. This is a pretty obscure topic and I don't think any YouTuber has covered this subject in any great detail. So this, I believe, is the first video on the subject dedicated to creating connections with clips and bars. This is by no means an exhaustive video, but consider it an introduction to this subject, and hopefully it will get you started in creating your own connections and give you an idea of what is possible with the different parts available. Being able to create efficient and strong connections is a valuable skill when building MOCs. Often, you may need to connect different elements or parts together, and understanding and knowing how to create these connections can really make a difference to a build. Generally, the more efficient and secure the connection, the better. You always want to explore the simplest and most direct route unless a more complex connection is desired in your specific design. Otherwise, as a general rule, you always want to make the simplest connection that is the strongest. Learning to create Lego connections, start off with knowing what parts are available, and we're going to start off with clips. There are many Lego parts available with clips, as you can see over here, and you can find them under the Bricklink catalog. The difficulty is they're not all categorized under one particular category, which makes it quite tricky. Honestly, sometimes I can't even remember where certain parts are categorized, and I spend a lot of time just figuring out which category this part is under. In this video, I hope to point out which category all these parts come from. Let's start off with these three arms over here. These come from the Lego minifig body parts category. This is a robot arm which has the claw ends on the same orientation, and this one has one in a 90 degree or perpendicular to the other one. And this is a straight battle droid arm. So you can find all these in the same category, and they're great for connections if you want to connect bar elements together, and I'll show you the different connections later on. Over here we have a different clip, and it can take a stud below. This particular part is actually a skeleton leg, and it's under the system category. That's probably kind of a miscellaneous category, as I'm not sure why it's under there, but that's under the system category. This particular one can receive a bar, and it's a clip which receives a bar, and this is under the bar category. This particular clip is also under the bar category, and it's a bar with a claw end. This particular clip, nice and angled, it's a completely different category. This is under the bionicle category. So all different categories. The skeleton leg from the system, these two from the bar categories, and this from the bionicle category. Well, these I consider the more complicated ones in terms of where they're placed within the Bricklink catalog. But over here, these are more straightforward. Anything you see with studs on top is considered a modified plate. So these are all variations of a modified plate. We have a 1x2 plate with a clip on the end, a 1x1 plate with a clip on the end, and this is a side clip, and this is a 1x1 plate with a clip on the end but with a vertical clip. Notice the two different orientations of the clip, which is important whether you want to place a bar horizontal or vertical. Over here we have two different plates. One is a double clip and one is a single clip. This piece over here is not a plate because you can't see a stud. Anytime you don't see a stud, it is a modified towel. So this is a modified towel with a clip on top. So these are your basic clip parts, and they form one side of a connection, because generally for any connection you need a clip and a bar element to form some kind of connection. Sometimes you can have a bar and a hole element where you insert a bar into a hole. That also forms another connection, which I'll get to in just a bit. So we've gone through the different clip elements. Let's have a look at the bar elements now. Here are some common bar elements that you can use for connections. These four here all fall under the bar category. And there are different kinds of bars in different lengths and different shapes and colors. There's a 90 degree angle, a straight bar with a stopper piece, and you can find different lengths. Basically, you might be able to find almost any kind of length or bar element you need if you want to make some kind of straight connection with a bar. This is a tap element in its own category. What's useful about this is it can be placed onto a stud, and there's also this small bar element here which can be clipped to a clip plate or a clip element. These two can be found under the Lego Minifigs Utensils category. This is a telescope and this is a lightsaber part. And they all have these little bar elements where you can also clip an arm or clip plate to it. This I find pretty useful at times. It's kind of a T-joint. It's under the pneumatics category, so a completely different category altogether. This is almost like a bar element, but it can receive a stud below, and this is under the antenna category. As you can imagine, all these bar parts can be used in different ways to create one part of a connection. Let's have a look at some modified plates and bricks that have bar elements. On this side, we have a variety of modified plates. Remember, anything that is flat and has studs on top is considered a modified plate. This is known as a 1x1 plate with a clip light. So it's really a hole or a holder that allows you to place a bar in. So it acts as a connection point if you need to make a horizontal bar, if you want to connect it, or if you are doing a snot technique where you are placing this plate vertically, that bar can almost be like a flag holder of sorts. This is a modified plate with a bar end but closed end. This is the same but double-ended. Likewise, this is a 1x2 modified plate with bar, closed end. This is a 1x2 modified plate with a bar but open end. And here we have a vertical bar on a modified plate. So as you can see, there are different variations and orientations, and it all depends on the connection you want to make. On this side, we have a variety of modified bricks. This is a modified brick with bar elements with open ends. Here we have a modified brick with a vertical bar. This is different kind of modified brick, and this has almost got a hinging bar element. This is not a bar element, but this is a modified brick with a vertical clip. This is a modified brick with a stud on the side, and these are hollow, so you can actually place a bar element into it like this to hold it in place. Likewise, we have a headlight brick, which is a variation of that modified brick you just saw. This has kind of an indent, but it's also got a hole, and there's also no back, so you could technically take a bar element and place it all the way right through like that. This is a 1x2 Technic brick. So this isn't found under the modified bricks, but you have to look under Technic bricks. This has a Technic hole. Now it's rather big, so you can't place this bar element in. So you need this Technic pin, which you can place in, and that would fit a bar element, just like that. So the good thing about this is you can actually rotate the bar element if you need. Now with these modified bricks, the bar element remains fixed. It cannot rotate. It's basically quite a snug fit. But in this case, because of the Technic pin, it's designed to turn. So if you want some free movement for the bar element in your modified brick, you might want to use this Technic brick with a modified pin or with a Technic pin. Now that you've been introduced to different parts, that's really the first part. The second part is to know how to combine the different elements together and parts together to create the connections. Let's have a look at all the parts and see what kind of connections we can make. There's no way I can show you every combination or permutation of connections, but let's just go through some common connections that I personally use. I do use a lot of these modified plates with bar elements, whether they're the closed bar or open bar, and I'll use them in connection with modified plates with the clips. So these can go together to form a hinging connection just like that. And you can use the closed bars with the 1x2 with the 1x2 double clip, just like that. If you need to, you can of course use a single clip. This allows you to cheat if needed. You can always slide this to one side so you can offset it by one stud or about half a stud. Another connection that I use a lot is this claw piece. This is quite useful, and you can always stick it into a modified brick with a stud on the side like that, and you can turn it to any orientation, so that's pretty flexible as well. These bar elements are used a lot. Let's call it the horizontal bar like that, and these can be placed on these modified tiles with a clip element, and you can place two of them together And these can connect also to a modified brick like that. So imagine if this modified brick is built into a wall, you can then take a modified plate with clip and clip a bar across so that you have some kind of a railing system. So these are just some basic ideas of what you can use. You have to use your creativity to figure out what parts go together to create a certain connection. Of course, it starts off with the knowledge of the parts first. So I do recommend you go through the Bricklink catalog, check out the categories I mentioned, and just get yourself familiar with the different parts out there. And then you can experiment and figure out which parts can connect to different parts. So you can get creative. For example, you can take a modified plate with a closed bar, put in a battle droid arm to create that kind of angled connection, take a tab element like that, and you can take a telescope piece which goes there, and that clips onto a modified plate. So this almost looks like some kind of contraption. In fact, a lot of different small builds such as lights, chairs, whatever you can think of, use these different small parts to create multiple connections to get all those acute angles and also some movement. So you have to experiment and you have to get creative in how you make the connections. To put things in perspective and to be more useful to you, let me show you some actual examples of how I've used connections between clips and plates and bars in my MOCs and builds. First, let's have a look at my elliptical cross trainer, which is part of my gym equipment MOC series, and I've got a video tutorial series on these various builds. This particular cross trainer has various clips and bar elements. I've got 1x1 modified clip plates, which are attached to a modified plate with a bar, closed bar, and these form the pedals of this cross trainer. And over here I've got another modified bar, and this is the open bar ends, and these are the battle droid arms which are connected to them, and we have the pneumatic T-bars at the other end. And over here we've got another connection. Let me just pop this out so you can have a look. This uses the bionicle arm, which is connected to another 1x2 modified plate with a closed bar element. But at the end of this bionicle arm, I have the bar with claw end. So that's why it's quite versatile, this particular claw piece. You can insert it to anything with a hole. And now you've got a double-ended clip element, which you can then use if you want this particular look or angle. This is my motorcycle lift from my motorcycle and bike shop MOC. Incidentally, that is on Lego Ideas, so if you'd like to vote for it to become an official Lego set, please follow the link above in the card or in the link in the description. This particular lift uses some connections as well. There's an open-ended bar element, which is a modified plate. In fact, there are two of them on either side, and these two elements are the battle droid arms, which gives it that nice angle, and they look like hydraulic arms or pneumatic arms in this case. And if I detach this front jumper plate to the main plate, I can almost get some kind of movement, as you can see, in two directions. So that's another use of a clip and bar element to create a small build. This is one of my favorite small builds. It's my ramen market stall, and this uses various connections to create this 3D noodle sign, which is basically a pair of giant chopsticks with some noodles. This noodles is a hair piece, which is connected to a minifig transparent head, which is connected to a clip element, and that's a 1x1 clip, which connects to these bar elements with stoppers, and they're attached to battle droid arms, which are attached to individual 1x2 modified plates with closed ends. So let's remove this and just have a look at the roof. One more connection which is quite interesting is the use of this minifig utensil part. This is actually the paint brush holder. So that looks just like this, and it is connected to a cone piece, which is connected to this lamp, which is a dish piece with a 1x1 modified tile of clip, and that acts as a very nice lamp holder just like that. This is not my build. This comes from the Ninjago movie Temple of the Ultimate set. And this is an example of the use of different bars and clip connections to create a cage. And I think this is quite brilliant because it really captures the look of this cage. Uses some of these bone parts to give that feel that this cage is made from different bones. And there are battle droid arms, bar elements, bionicle arms, modified plates with this octagonal bar. So it's a really good example of how creative you can get to use these connections to create a small build. So there you have a nice little cage made from clips and bars. This is a pipe organ that I designed for my steampunk band. It uses several modified plates with clips, and it attaches these bar elements to create the illusion of pipes for the pipe organ. Let me pull open this towel piece here and you can see the various modified plates with clips. Notice this is actually a modified plate with open-ended bars, but when I created the connection like this, it actually looks like a continuous bar element as well. So sometimes you can cheat if you aren't really looking for a connection and you just want to create the illusion of pipes and clips. This part here can create the illusion, and that's just using a modified plate with open-ended bar. On this side over here, you can see I've used multiple 1x1 modified tiles with clips, and the bars are inserted into the clips, and these modified tiles are attached to a modified brick or several modified bricks with studs on the side. And this is similar to the example I showed earlier on, but in this case the bars are vertical, not horizontal. One more thing I'd like to show you is the base of this little platform that I built for the pipe organ. It looks like there are many connections and bar elements, but again, this is a cheat. There are no connections actually, but if you have a look, especially from more of a wide angle, these looks like they're all connected parts, but they aren't. These are tab elements, but just the way the tab elements are designed and the way I've placed them together, you know, just like that, it creates the illusion that they are connected. And when you have several of them with these telescope parts, you get the illusion of an interconnected railing system or support system. So that's just an idea, nothing got to do with connections, but the illusion of creating a connection. One of the first builds that I created using the bar and clip elements is this surfboard rack, and I designed it for my surf rental shop by my beach. This particular build uses different parts to create this realistic looking rack, and very secure, in fact, as you can see. The bottom are two railing parts, and the top elements here are ladder parts. They're held together using modified tiles with clips. So there's one in each corner, and that really creates a secure connection to hold the ladder to the railing. And over here at the top are the crossbar, which are two bar elements with the open claws. And there's a Technic pin which is used as a sleeve to hold these two elements together. And together they work very well to act as a cross brace holding these two parts together, and this acts as a really nice surfboard holder. Here's a look at my modification mock for the Sanctum Sanctorum, or rather the Pete's apartment side, since I just did the Pete's apartment build on both sides as one complete building. But what I'd like to call your attention to is the fire escape, which came with the original design of the build. It uses different bar elements such as a ladder, the 6-stud long bar with stopper, and a shorter 4-stud long bar, and with these battle droid arms to create a very realistic railing for the fire escape. And there are two of them, so together they work very well. And these are connected to the building not with regular clip and plates that we've discussed or bars, but rather bars inserted into Technic pins, to Technic connectors, and Technic bricks. Now I didn't really discuss Technic bricks except the small connection I discussed earlier on. But basically, if you want to do any kind of heavy duty connection, you need more weight on the connection, or you need it just to be more strong, then you want to connect them using Technic bricks and pins and axle pieces, which are cross rods. So check out the techniques category of the Bricklink catalog and you can see a variety of different connections that you can use to create connections such as this. Another example of a connection is this railing, and that's basically the bar with the claw end inserted into a modified brick with a bar across. So a simple railing just like that. Here we don't have an actual railing, but it goes under the illusion of a railing once again. This is just a modified plate with a closed bar element, and it creates the illusion of a bar. And when you work, have it work with different bar elements such as the fire escape, it really looks like a railing as well. So that's another cheat you can use. I hope you enjoyed this video introduction onto creating Lego connections with clips, bars and plates. If you have any suggestions for alternate connections, please let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments as well. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel as there's lots more Lego content coming your way. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.